go live. No, when I light my candle. That's so funny. I'm looking at go live, seeing if it's working. Okay, great. So, hi guys, Akasha here from nanakasha.com, and we are really in the middle of some very dreamy, beautiful, amazing energies for weeks now. So, when I light a candle, I say, I call in the light, and I am the light. I am the light. There is no darkness within me. And what this means is not evil things taking over you, but the darkness within you that you have put there. So we have the ability to realize that we are the creators of our reality, because everything's going to be coming up from under the surface now. Excuse me, I've been running up and down the stairs many, many times this morning. So, fantastic. I love it. All right. So all these planets in retrograde, and in the spiritual weather report here that we're doing today, and the meditation, which we're going to do next, is all about tuning into the energies that are happening right now. Like, what is going on right now, and how can I harness it, not fight against it, recognize if it's creating a certain mood, because we've been taught to live by allowing our emotions and other people to tell us how we feel, what we want, how to act, and we get stuck in a loop of patterns that we believe are very difficult or impossible to break, and we see limits in our environment. I'm getting there. This has been really fun. So in your environment, in your inner environment, in your light body, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relational, your chakras, your pillar of light, your rainbow light body, all levels of your meridians, every part of you, okay, is coming together to add its opinion to make the overall frequency, which is what you put out. And the energy, the frequency that you put out, mostly subconscious, which is why you're like, why am I keep getting the same bad relationship? Or why does my pain not go away? Or why isn't this changed? Well, a couple of things. We don't want to push anything. We don't want to create that way anymore. We've done it for centuries. It's exhausting. It ends up with violence against ourselves in the form of judgment, pain, and disease, because when we manifest that in our body, there's a reason, an energetic reason somewhere else within us. So our mind, maybe it's a past life, other part of your soul is more accurate way to put that. You're a multidimensional being. None of this is shocking or weird. It's just truth, and quantum physics is proving it now. We're having that other side of your brain can be happy now as we see more scientific proof proving the ancient truths that we have known all along, which is that we are a multidimensional being. You have a mind, it's filled with programs. You can change those programs. You have a brain. It's different than the mind, but it's connected. It creates neural pathways to create habits for you. But now's the moment of unraveling the habits, of breaking down the old habits of who you think you are, how you react, how you speak, how you decide, how you choose, how you view things, who you judge, what you judge. So we recently had a reunion for our Intuition Awakening class with our groups, and we're offering a new, really exciting program with that. Pretty simple compared to a lot of them out there. In a few months, you can get certified to do intuitive readings, doing body scans, multidimensional body scans, and also going to be introducing everyone to a very unique way of entering the Akashic records, communicating with them, respecting and understanding who we're becoming. So the reason this is really relevant right now is we have all of these planets in retrograde. Retrograde isn't something to be afraid of. It is an illusion. It's the perception something's going backwards. It's not. But in relationship to us, this is what you want to pay attention to. In relationship to your self-identity, to how you treat yourself, how you think yourself. Think about yourself. Do you think you're, a failure? Do you think you're not good enough? Yes, somebody else probably told you that, but it doesn't matter because you're the one in charge. And that's where we're going now. We're going into, in like another year or so, we're going to start going into some very new energies coming onto the planet. What's going to happen if you haven't prepared yourself? If you've been just wallowing around in your emotions, wallowing around in news and Facebook and fear, right? Approaching your spiritual growth with the same perspective and energy as you have approached other things in life, it's not working, right? You need to break the old patterns, start doing things differently, start listening intuitively. A lot of the patterns that my students were talking about coming up is the judgment and frustration. And this is true for all of us because the planet, all the history in the planet, everything is conscious energy. You relate to it. It's communicating. You pick up on it. You don't pick up on it. You want to pick up on it. You don't want to pick up on it, whatever. But if you're not consciously intuitive communication and connection, then it's happening haphazardly without you there deciding who and what is optimal for you to connect to. So you're picking up energies, you're too tuned into the news or the sadness or the grief or the fear of other people or the planet, because yes, we're in breakdown. We're also in awareness. Our awareness is raising so fast right now that we're already seeing a reflection like into movies or into TV shows. The difference in the mindset around sexuality and these different things that are breaking down. So it's happening very quickly. We're not used to that. We're used to little explosions of speed, but we've been ramping up. Things have been going faster. Time literally sped up. Everything is faster. We think faster. We can absorb faster. You know things faster. You can let go of things faster. You're going to run into your new problems faster. Okay? You're speeding up. Now, all of a sudden, we've had all this chaos and breakdown. Our paradigm of who we are, whether it's safe to go anywhere, travel where we want to live, a lot of people changed because of the pandemic. They've gone and lived in the country or they've moved to another country. They've decided to change their quality of life, their priorities in life. They want to be around their family more, or they're not willing to do a work that sucks the life out of them, or they have to drive 10 miles or 10 hours or whatever, right? So we've seen that. We're in the middle of that. Now, this year, you've noticed, oh my goodness, everything's been just being dug up from the eclipses and just everything is happening. All the shit that's under the surface, all the deepest fears, all the oldest stuff. Lots of people dying, lots of people leaving. It's not a tragedy. It's their path, their choice. This is a very powerful time. Why are they leaving now? Nobody really knows but them or their higher self or their soul blueprint. However, if you have somebody in your life, and a lot of people do, very close people, a lot of mothers going to a new place, it's an opportunity for you to complete a cycle, complete a pattern with that particular mother, with all mothers, with your idea of a mother, with a failed mother-daughter, any of those paradigms that connect with that. It's an opening. It's a completion. So we've just had the full moon in Pisces. We're still feeling that. And that's an end of the cycle, dreamy energy. We're going, Mercury went retrograde on Friday. So we have 6 or 7 different bodies in retrograde now. In the end of October, Mars is going to join, which doesn't do it a lot. So it isn't relevant now, but understand that all these retrogrades right now are what you're walking with. It's almost like your whole house is filled. They've all come in and they're here, right? They're just around you and they're in and they're intimate. They're subconscious. They're under the surface. So that's why we know that right now the primary energies are retrograde energies. Those are not things to be afraid of. Don't give your power to it. They're things to be aware of. Again, we had some Leo energy. We had a lot of fire energy. We had the Lion's Gate. We had a lot of really, and that was outward energy and building energy and masculine energy and positive ego and confidence and creativity and a lot of this kind of thing. And now we've come down into Virgo, which is the pure, divine, sacred feminine, but still very task-oriented, right? Organized, reliable, structured, moving along, taking care of things for you. This is the pure sacred feminine in you. Now, combine that, you are surrounded with that, and you're being asked to vibrate back to pure divine, pure sacred feminine. That means you need to get back in touch with your intuition. There's just no way around it anymore. The North Node, you should go back and watch the spiritual weather report if you want. End of July, beginning of October, we crossed something called the North Node, and it means a destiny shift. And it was along with Uranus, which is the planet of change, disruption, awakening. So that means that change, disruption, awakening is happening in our collective destiny path. Boop, boop, we're going in a new direction. That's a good thing. All right. Hopefully everything that we have been processing, we've been releasing, we've been working on ourselves, we've been allowing, becoming, all right, letting go of all that old blah, 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 blah. We just don't need it anymore. Okay. It doesn't matter anymore. You want to accept it and transcend it. So now we have the opportunity to walk through a period of time. Maybe it's a little slower, but we get to look within. Saturn is here yesterday. Saturn and Uranus again, change, disruption, awakening energy. My little unicorn. With Saturn, now Saturn can be a little harsh, right? It's tradition, rules, taskmaster, but it's also the energy that is going to make you an expert, right? It's going to give you structure. It's going to require you to clean up the loose ends. It's going to require you to get it together and review stuff and stop carrying stuff you don't need. Excellent. Look at stuff. Oh my gosh, I have notes all over the place. Maybe I should write that book now and put that book together. Find the pieces. All right. What needs completion? What needs completion in one way? Maybe someone has left your life, or I started a business a few years ago because we thought it would be something that Chris could do after his seizure. It's a rather complex business. Has nothing to do with this. And we had all kinds of things started, and we never did anything with it. And so I literally finally finished closing everything down, finishing everything, and filing the final tax return, even though it did no business, Saturday, which was the full moon in Pisces, completing a cycle. And it was not lost on me, the energetic shift and the amount of things that were off of my energy freed me up. Okay, so there's that kind of completion. You want to look for the completions. Now that's this week, all right? But now we have Saturn and Uranus. So we have tradition and all that over here, and, go out and change and be disruptive, protest, be radical, or even within yourself. So you're going to have those tensions pulling both directions. But it's really kind of awesome, because if you think about, all right, the messenger just went into retrograde. That means Mercury, the messenger, isn't out ahead of you throwing messages at you and you're trying to pick them up as you're running through your life. That's how I kind of see it. Is the messenger now has come in and is sitting with us like a beloved, whispering in the ear. And so our messenger is now internal, subconscious, under the surface. Again, it matches with all the other energies that are now in that space. So let's take a look at what that means. And then we will go to the meditation. So the multidimensional meditation is going to be about going under the surface. And this is really about the opportunity to find the treasures in your subconscious that you have been afraid of, you've been avoiding, you have forgotten, and they're going to be coming to the surface because we're doing this dream work now. What happens next? Well, what happens next is that these lost treasures are surfacing and you're going under. You're willing, with all this support, all these different energies that are here. So tomorrow, I hope you'll join me. I have somebody I've just come to adore, Donna Stellhorn. She's a master astrologer, and I had her on my summit in the beginning of the year, and she's written a new course on how to read the tarot. So we're going to play with that tomorrow at 2 p.m. And there she is, isn't that cute? Her new thing. And I also wanted to remind you to get your seat for the virtual retreat and ceremony for the September equinox. Okay, please join us, Christian and VNA, and 2 others. I'm paying them to come all the way across over here to be with us to perform ceremony. We're going to be doing cacao. I'm going to show you how to make it. I'm going to take you to temples. We're going to have a lot of fun. And don't forget to go check out the Infinite Conversations on YouTube. We had a wonderful one with Christian where he talked about both the equinox and the idea of power animals, because we're working with power animals in the equinox. They're coming up, they're coming forward, they're literally coming up out of the earth, so to speak, saying, you've forgotten us, okay? You used to know from birth who your power animals were, what season they were there, when you called on them, what they were for, what the winged ones were for, what the crawling ones were for, what they were telling you, when they were there to guide you. So make sure you check that out. And this is our new intuitive offering. So we're taking intuition awakening, and we're going deeper. And I want you to be able to read your own thoughts, read your own energies. I want you to be able to talk to your higher self, to guides, to angels, to the energies, to the moon, to all this stuff that's happening, to be able to allow your treasures to come up to the surface and sit with it, even if, pain or emotion comes up, because that happens, okay? That happens. All right, so let's look. This week, lots of retrograde. We talked about what that means, Saturn, Uranus. So looking at things that have been left unfinished, and those 2 things pulling within you, that desire for something new, something radical, and the desire for tradition and roots, let them play. Could you bring something new? Could you create a new tradition? Could you break a tradition or a habit and at the same time complete patterns and bring in something, awaken to a new way of being that then Saturn can help you to create foundation for, right? A structure for, and the full moon. So the veil is very thin right now. The energies are watery and internal. We talked about just now that you have to listen to your traditions and your ancestors and your path while opening to your new awakening heart and who you're changing into. So focus is on the internal, what's ready to rise to the surface, old and new. Okay, it isn't just all the old crap that has to come up. Don't expect that. You have a lot of stuff that's been waiting, that's ready. You've done your work, you've cleared your shit. Take the bags out, take the trash out, let it go, okay? So that you can then let come up from under you. One of my clients, I think she said she had a vision or a dream where she was in a boat and it sunk or something, and she was all alone, and then up from under her, this giant whale came and lifted her up and rescued her. And if you think about the meaning, the intuitive, if that's a dream that you have and it's vivid, then what does that mean? There is so much there. And so when you keep developing your intuition, your psychic powers, you keep listening, you keep giving more respect and time to this energy, your life is going to be completely different. You're going to be listening to a completely different rhythm and what it means to you. That is a very powerful dream. Whales are beautiful and sentient, but the real thing is being lost. Your boat sinking, being all alone in the middle of nowhere with the potential of dying. That's a reflection of what that person is thinking and feeling and believing within them. Therefore, that's what they're creating and reflecting in their reality. Then, right when they think it's all over, something enormous that's under the surface in them, buried in their emotional field, rises up to support them. All right, so really, really pay attention. Look up all of these planets. Jupiter's about expansion and good fortune and new and Saturn and Uranus we discussed, and Neptune. You got you got your dreamy energies, and you got your Mercury, and you got Chiron, your wounded healer, and you've got to look at this. These are all energies. If they were gods or something, what were they? Chiron was a wounded healer. It's actually a really, really powerful and interesting one, and it's an asteroid, but that's what we're doing right now. Are your wounds coming up? Is the healer within you wounded? Yes, we're all wounded healers. We're all wounded healers. You don't have to be a healer. You could be a banker, but you're still a wounded healer because you know how to heal yourself. All right. And now with Uranus in retrograde, you're also going to have a chance to catch up on your awakening, right? Your disruptions, your change. So that's one of the positive and beautiful things about retrograde with something like that is Uranus has been going pop, 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 change, your disruption, right turn. Your destiny's going in a different way, right? So send me an email to support@nanakasha.com if you want me to tell you where your chart is for the North Node, because it's very interesting to know what area of your career or house or health or what like that is this big redirection of your destiny purpose. It's very profound. So reframe, and all those things we talked about last week and all the things that are in my Mercury retrograde free gift. So if you go to shop.nanakasha.com, there's a free thing about Mercury retrograde and how to reframe it and everything. So reframe, review. Last week, specifically, Mercury was telling us rewind, remind, and then release. So you rewind and look at things. Saturn will help you with that. Maybe looking at things you don't want to look at, right? Tough stuff. And then remind yourself, oh yeah, I did that, or I'm awesome, or I'm done with that, or I don't need that anymore, or why am I carrying that around? I literally saw on a client the other day in a private session that they had what was the session we were doing? Oh, Awaken Your Intuitive Powers session. And so what I see, what I teach my clients too, if you come in the intuition classes, is to be able to scan the field, the entire light body, and anything else that's relevant and optimal at this time to the soul purpose of that person. I can then start to pick up the energies, what's there. And if we come in specifically like, oh, I want to magnetize my soulmate, or I want to get over the rest of my hang-ups so I can have self-love, or I'm ready to release my pattern with weight and money and whatever forever, whatever it is, okay? And if you know more about who you are, what you're doing, why you're waking up, and you allow yourself to review it, you're going to realize that it's not relevant. There's another RE word for all these retrogrades. So is it relevant for you? Okay. And as you allow these shifts to happen, you're going to notice it too. So the way that the client perceives it is, I feel like I can't move forward. I feel like I'm held back. I feel like my feet are stuck in mud, or I'm stuck. These different kinds of things. So then I tune in, what do I see? Immediately I see tied to one of her ankles is a trash bag, like a kitchen-sized trash bag full of trash, but tied up, and it has those little, it's white and it has those little orange ties on it that come out, and then it's tied around her ankle. And what it was telling us specifically, because of what we were asking and how we tuned in and how I do it, was it was saying, okay, as far as her intuitive powers waking up, she has cleared a lot of shit, okay? She's let go of a lot of fears. And this is what all of you are going to do. The minute you go towards what you want, don't worry about your wounds. Just go towards what you want, because you will run into the fears. You will run into the beliefs. You will run into the blocks. You will run into all that stuff on your path. So just go. Don't wait around. Oh, I have to fix this. I have to do that. You'll find it. It means that she'd processed a lot, and a lot of you are this way. You've done a lot of work. You've processed a lot. And then she put it even all in a trash bag, but she didn't take the trash out. Now she's dragging it around, carrying it around. And there's that part of us who thinks, maybe I won't be safe, or maybe I'll need it, or maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I'm not ready, or maybe I'm overstepping my bounds and something bad will come back. These are the internal beliefs that go around in there, even for people who are very empowered and awakened. These are still wet. So you're going up, up, up. It's important to release right now in this retrograde period and get ready, because we don't want to carry that. So this is a heightened intuitive senses time. It's helping to pull your conscious awareness into the lost treasures of your spirit. Now, these are lost treasures that could be this life, other lives, other parts of your soul. They could be parts of childhood. You don't know where they're going to come from. So please open your intuition without expectation and without limitation. This is why I highly recommend you get training, okay? Is that if you get training on how not to infect your intuitive communication and guidance, or your connection with these energies I'm telling you about, or what starts to come up when you're in a dreamy Pisces full moon and you don't understand why you're feeling a certain way or why certain things are happening. If you infect it with your fear, or with the limitations of the conditioned mind, or of the perception that you are never good enough, that perception is outdated. It only causes struggle now, because it just doesn't make any sense. It's like looking through foggy glasses. They're broken. We got to take them off. All right. So as your intuitive senses heighten, you can have a lot of problems. You can get overwhelmed. You could not know how to cleanse, clear, protect yourself, or how to align to only the energies that are optimal for you. If you don't know these kinds of things, I can't believe that there's healers out there that literally don't align and cleanse themselves, their space, their client before and after all sessions, before and after their day. You're walking around and picking up all kinds of energies and then dragging them around with you. And then you wonder why you're sick, or you're tired, or you're overwhelmed. You've got to get rid of these energies that aren't yours. So pull your conscious awareness from your wounds and your fears. Use this time of clarity and just keep affirming, I am a clear and open channel, I'm a clear and open channel, I'm a clear and open channel. Okay? Because you've forgotten so many messages, so many communications, connections that are right there waiting for you, or they're a channel for the next time that energy comes through, that you could see it, because the energy is coming. Okay, the enlightenment is happening, the awakening is happening, the ascension is happening, the evolution is happening. It's happening all over the planet. Where you are in it, it's not like it's going to come knock on your door and say, don't you really want to be over across the street? Look what's happening over there. There's a double rainbow, and there's this and that, and there's all this great, but you're over here in the chaos and the lava and the trauma. And you're like, oh, well, I thought it was going to come and get me and knock on my door. It's not. You have to dump the old energies, raise your conscious awareness, discover the truth, the treasures, the value of who you are, and all of the messages that have already come here, all of the library, the Akashic records, whatever you want to call it, of who you are, that has everything you need. You have a blueprint in you, just like a nut, just like a seed, just like everything else. It knows who it is and what to become. It's just that there's no other seed or nut out there like you. It's not like 1,000, although that's true. Not every acorn tree or whatever grows and looks exactly the same. Pretty close though, right? So now, this rediscovering of long lost treasures of your true soul and purpose is going to do what? It's going to push you out of your comfort zone. So Saturn is going to be helping along. I was really annoyed with Saturn, and I didn't take a lot of time to learn about it or understand it. It just as often tells you, you got a task and you got to work hard again. And it really fed into my beliefs about myself that I was raised with or conditioned with. That said, I wasn't good enough. I had to keep working harder all the time, and I could never keep what I had for very long without suffering. So once I disconnected myself from that paradigm, those beliefs, that self-identity, and I kept and keep excavating the emotion and the other energetic patterns that are still in me, maybe attracting any of that, I had to get way out of my comfort zone, and so do you. And you want to get out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is what I call your death zone. It is not where you want to be ever anymore. Now, if you've been through a lot of trauma and stress, that doesn't mean go force yourself to do uncomfortable things while you're recovering from grief of someone dying or something. Don't be ridiculous. It means get out of your comfort zone of forcing yourself to do anything. Get into the comfort zone of loving yourself, accepting exactly where you are, and just let the state of acceptance, look at the scale, get it in the shop, Look at the state of acceptance. Your emotional body forgives or lets go. Your mind goes into harmony. You begin to transcend out of the pain and the fear, and you're surrounded in compassion. Then that becomes what you're doing. So accepting that you are prepared and you can get out of your comfort zone and let go, stop struggling. So you're going to get pulled under, and that's not a fun feeling in this massive retrograde energy if you don't allow yourself to elegantly be escorted through this subconscious journey. So if you come and join the new Intuition Awakening course on doing body scans, intuitive readings, and Akashic Records, 8th dimension stuff that I'm teaching, you're going to be able to know how to do this. You're going to have daily practices to cleanse and clear yourself. And you're going to be able to tell the difference between your energies and others, or what's leaving and what's completing. You're going to be able to allow it and accept it and let it run its course without falling into depression, judgment, fear, and frustration. And when those energies come up, you have a community to come back to talk to. So remember that Saturn is holding up that nothing too new, nothing too progressive, okay? You know, it does want you to get out of your comfort zone, though. Isn't that interesting? Because it wants you to get out of your comfort zone of ignoring the past or playing the old I'm not powerful game, okay? That's outdated. Stop it. Stop playing that. You're eternal, you're powerful, you're light, you're everything, you have a plan, you're perfect, you're beautiful, you're here, you're God, you're here for a reason, okay? So let Saturn come say, come on, hon, we got to go look at the piles of paperwork, okay? After my divorce and moving out of a big house into a small house and just all this drama in my life, I had stacks and stacks of paperwork, and I just ignored it, and it carried it energetically and emotionally with me everywhere. So let's reconcile what's over. Let's reconcile the accounts like the accountant. Let's complete the past. Let's file the taxes, okay? What still needs to be acknowledged and wrapped up? And that's the loose ends we talked about. You want them all tidy as you leap into the new Uranus energy. Okay, well now Uranus is going to support you while Saturn's over there requiring that. That's okay, because you have a beautiful balance as we move towards the equinox. More and more equality energies. Uranus and Saturn, to me, are going to intuitively be balancing these energies for you. A little bit of expansion, new things, radical ideas, break out, be something new. And then that other side saying, yes, let's create the structure so that you don't fall, right? So I also want you to take a look at the old rules, traditions. How are they holding you back or limiting your potential or your power or your happiness, okay? Because you don't have to hate it, but it has to be respected, recognized, and that times are changing, and let it go, all right? So look into your mind, look under the surface, what new ideas and possibilities and realities are waiting there, and you can release them into the flow and expand and reconnect to your bigger intuitive mind or your intuitive network. So when you work with me in my classes and that, I call it your intuitive network, because we go, oh, it's this and it's this, it's your higher self, but it's also your body intelligence, and it's your 8 original cells at the base of your spine, and it's your chakras. Okay, and it's Gaia, because that's part of your body is made from Gaia, and it's your I am presence. And so there's a lot of things to your intuitive network, and most of them have been offline. Then there's the glands like your pineal, your pituitary, and so on. So also remember, do not judge yourself if old themes come back from last year, maybe even before that, but several times last year are kind of matching up with the energies right now. And it means that as you go under the surface, you might go, oh, look, I forgot about that. It went under the surface. Okay. Good heavens. This means they have something to say. Okay. That you can be free. Do not get distracted by frustration and that they come up, okay? So the lost treasures of your soul, which we're going to go do a meditation now here in a moment, are deep in your subconscious. And you could also go into the unconscious. They're different fields, okay, of your energy, buried in the cellular memory of your body. So as an intuitive citizen, this is what I'm becoming impassioned about, is we must understand we are not citizens of a country or a planet. We are citizens of this universe and of all universes. And we are an intuitive being. And we must step into that. Okay, so your cellular memory, you might feel things shifting literally, or you might feel, I used to get these visions of my cells shifting, their vibration is starting to pulse or dance to a different rhythm, okay, when they were releasing things. Now there's your light body. That's your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, relational, on and on. It's your chakras and everything. So all of these places hold treasures, hold pain, hold blocks, hold fears, hold talents, hold strengths. Some of them are programmed to go on a particular time, like a timer. And a lot of those are going off right now. So some of you may be feeling triggered. Things are coming up. People are awakening before they were prepared because they did not listen to the call to get their intuitive training. Okay, so write this down. Now is the time of releasing the past and letting it rise to the surface, so it completely removes from my space, from my energies. I no longer have a reaction or a connection to it. All right. So again, I said, don't be afraid of your old patterns and your past fears. They have a lot to say to you. If you're still carrying them, you're still carrying them. If you get mad at them, or you ignore them, or you try to do groovy, creative things or drink or whatever it is that helps you forget and cope, then great, take a break, but then come back, because they need to be acknowledged, or you're going to drag them around. Okay, they're ready to be removed so you can think and feel and see like a 5th, 8th, and 13th dimensional being that you already are encoded to become. So I was playing with the word become. I had these visions a few weeks ago, and they were going become. And then the B and the me got big, and the CO in the middle got really small. And then there was an infinity symbol flowing between them. And of course, what is that? Be me, become means be me. And what is the co? Well, the co could be connected or co-creative or conscious, or all of these fun energies that you could play with. So that's a little fun toy if you want to play with that. I like playing with words a lot. The energies are very, very revealing. But it's the time of being connected to the eternal me, I am that I am, within. So you are in a pinnacle moment where your past is a powerful illusion, and yet you're separating from its power over you. So this is where you have to continuously remember where you are and what you're doing, okay? So if you go to the shop, you're going to see this, the details of this new mystery teaching that I'm putting on this path. Everything is under the umbrella of your infinite self. You are ready to become, to recognize, to remember that you're infinite light, that you're here to live a much more infinite life, and you need to live it as you, your unique infinite self. You are not me, you're not anyone else, and if you try to be me or you hold yourself back, then all of us are out of balance, and we cannot evolve, we cannot heal, we cannot become whole, we cannot have the full color new world. So I want to train you. I want you to take respect, train your intuitive powers to do exceptional intuitive readings, body scans, and Akashic record readings, and become certified. Now, you don't have to have a healing practice. You could be an executive, and if you train your intuition, it's going to give you a big different life. You could be a parent, okay? You don't have, this could be for you. This should be for you first. The first is you do this. You do this, you learn this, okay? And if you've already done the intuition awakening, then you can jump right into this. If you haven't, then you can get the intuition awakening course at a special price. And if you buy them both, and then you'll have it, you can start it now. But you can jump into the live course, okay? So your life of purpose and power and passion is waiting inside of you. And it's a really exciting time with all this retrograde energy to go down into yourself and accept the fear, okay? Accept that you need to come back into this space that has been forgotten. You must awaken and develop your intuitive, subtle, and psychic powers. And the first thing to do is to be with yourself. You've got all of these energies now sitting with you, helping you look within. All right, so this is going to be a step-by-step process. And for you, you want to have this opportunity, whether it's going deep right now, doing some private sessions or soul readings, learning something else that you already know, whatever it is, do me a favor and let that structure of Saturn talk to you and say, it's time for you to do this. It's time for you to remember this, to finish this, to release this, or to review it or redo it, right? So you've got some very, very powerful energies. I'm just going to remind you of all of these, right? Reframe and refund and rewire and repost and replant and renovate and rethink and reimagine and regain and recommend and rehearse and rejoice and redesign and repress and reboot and reveal and reframe and refer and rehash, rehabilitate. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. This was the spiritual weather report for this week. And what we're going to do is have the meditation now. So I will see you in a few moments. Namaste. Have a beautiful and blessed day.